Welcome to the Chapter 1 podcast, your inside look at the people powering the business scene of Charlotte. Real entrepreneurs, real stories right here in the Queen City. We're here today with Mary Forsyth with Ida Louise. And Mary, we're pumped to have you on the show. Let's start at Chapter 1. How did you make your way to the Queen City?
Well, I don't know if this is the answer you're looking for, but because of it, two guys. One I was trying to get away from and one I was trying to get to. I'm going to be honest with you. I was literally getting divorced, and then I'd already met Matt, and I lived in Wilmington at the time. So he lived in Charlotte, sold my house, and I was like, okay, he said, just move in with me till you can find a house. That's what happened. And that was 6 years ago.
Okay. So where were you born and raised? What was growing up life like?
Indiana, Crawfordsville, Indiana. Very small town. Don't go there. It's literally, if you see it, just keep going. So I grew up there, high school, everything. Graduated a little bit early. Went to the military after that. So
okay.
I was like, there's a couple things that's going to happen here. You're like, oh shit, no, she's not. I'm probably going to end up in jail, pregnant, or on drugs. It's one of the things that's going to happen in Crawfordsville, Indiana. So that's why I suggest. Just keep
military just seemed like the better option.
Yeah.
Well, so tell me about from military, how did you make your way into your professional career? Maybe it wasn't exactly what you're doing now. Maybe it was, but I'm curious to know, where did that start? What was your first job?
So honestly, I went to school at night through the military, and I went to school while I was in the military at night. Got my degree, had to wait till after. I got deployed a couple of times and had to extend some. And then I actually answered an ad on Monster. I think Monster was, I don't even know if that's a thing right now. Is it? Is it even open?
I don't know what Monster is.
Oh, you don't? Then it's probably not. Oh my gosh. So I was I actually found an HR person that only hired from Monster that year for PepsiCo at the time. And they said I was the only person that they hired that has made it in those last 3 years that they hired. Yeah.
That's reassuring.
Can you believe it? I was like, I don't know if this is good or bad. Like, okay. So, but anyway, so I worked there for 15 years. And when I met Matt, I had worked from home, 3 years. And I've worked from home since then. I started as a district manager, with routes and out in the market, sales, all those things. So I think it gave me a great ground for what I'm doing now. Which is, kind of this, but selling live.
Yeah. So well, tell me about that transition. So tell me about what it was like going from that, okay, I've been working somewhere for 15 years to slowly making your way to you're doing your own thing now and having a lot of success from what I hear. So what was that transition period like?
Well, it was a long transition. So I just stopped working there in December of this past year. Doing finance was my last job. I worked about 5 or 6 different positions within that time frame. But again, working from home. So I was able to have another career on top of that in the meantime. So I'm a very, let's just see what happens type of person. There's not really an obstacle. There's obstacles, there's solutions to the obstacles. I've never been worried about what people think, which is not a good thing. Kind of a little bit impulsive, not a good thing at the same time. So, for example, I always wanted to have, even like 10, 15 years ago, have some kind of business. And I just literally was in Mooresville, saw a opening for a site that when it was for rent. I was like, hey, Matt, there's not one here. I asked the people next door, hey, do you know of any? They said there's one around the corner. I called them, hey, I want to open a boutique. Yeah. So I did that for 3 years. But at the same time, I had got my insurance license. So there was another location 2 doors down that was also available. I said, we're going to open an insurance office and we're going to open a boutique. See where I'm going with this whole,
wow.
It's available.
Next step is just you open a boutique. You got to open an insurance office 2 doors down, right? Everybody knows that.
Exactly. So anyway, so the lease was up on the one boutique. So I said, we're moving everything into the insurance office. We don't really need it. It's mostly like in-home. We don't really need to do it. It's on the phone. And then May of 2 years ago, I closed it. And I was like, you know what? It's just time to move on. Well, guess what? That was in May, 3-4 weeks before I closed the office. We had done a Poshmark. It's an online selling platform or whatever. Okay. Hated it. It was the worst thing I ever did. Me and Matt did it. He was taking videos. I was like, this sucks. There's one person on. It's me and you, right? So anyway, it was at night. So this Friday, this girl comes in, is like, hey, I see you're closing. I was like, she's like, have you ever tried this live selling thing? I was like, it was the worst thing. I will never do it. She goes, well, I'm pretty good at it. And I said, okay, can be here Monday morning. Store's open, 10 a.m. She came in. That was really, literally, pretty much the whole like foundation of the rest. She works for me now. She left, came back, and it has been like insane since.
Well, tell people that are watching that might not understand exactly what it is that you do now. Explain that to the viewer here.
So when you see a lot on TikTok, like live selling, Facebook live selling, but Whatnot is a platform, or Poshmark. There's a lot of these platforms out here. You just sell clothing, tools, you sell housewares, and people buy them like right from you at that same time. And that's what I do every morning. I'm up at 2 a.m. It's not easy. It's very mentally grueling for people that can't have a hard time with that. It's a bad day, it's a good day, it's sales, but it's kind of like grew me a little bit for this whole time, being in sales with PepsiCo to now. So, and my daughter's kind of going through that now, and she's like, man, this is hard. And I'm like, I told you it wasn't easy. I told you don't quit your job yet, but people don't want to. They think they see your success and they are like, I'm going to do that. Well, you don't see the 2 years. You don't see the year behind that of the double jobs. I worked both jobs for 2 years, and I just quit in December. So, and I made a lot of money there. It's a good job, so insurance, everything, 401k, all that stuff. Yeah. So they don't see that. They just see the successes.
Well, tell me a little bit about that 2 year period that people don't like to hear about a whole lot. That time of it kind of growing and turning into maybe what it's become now. What were some of those hurdles? Like how did you overcome those things? What was marketing like for you? How did you get attention to do what you're doing now? How did it grow?
I tell everybody it's consistency and hard work. Nobody's going to outwork me. There's nobody that's going to get up earlier than me, that's going to think harder than me, and going to be as consistent. I had somebody come on the podcast, huge seller on Whatnot the other day, and they said, your consistency is legendary. And I was like, damn, really? I was like, you know what? I don't think I missed a day since Christmas. Every day I'm streaming from 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to at least 10 a.m. But there's a lot goes behind that. The streaming's easy. They don't see the sourcing. They don't see the shipping, the receiving, all that stuff in between. So I think that's the big thing is, and my daughter tells me all the time, she's like, even when she's talking about being pregnant and going to the gym and all this, I was like, I was at the gym till I was 9.5 months pregnant. She goes, people aren't built like that. You're not built like everybody else. I'm like, I don't understand what that means. Like, what does that mean? Like, you just go do it, And I think that's a lot of things. People put their own roadblocks in their own selves, and they allow other people to put roadblocks on them too. Matt said something about, well, so-and-so said that, you're a big time. So I said, you got to watch who those people are. They're saying you're a big time, because they might not be the people that should be saying that. You shouldn't be listening to those people. You need to be watching the people that are a million people follow and saying you're a big time, not the ones that are like just starting out. You know what I mean? You got to watch who you're getting that advice from.
Sure. Do you have, obviously you've been doing this for a couple of years now. Are there any stories like of things that have happened that you were like, oh shoot, I did not expect it to go this way? Maybe not necessarily horror stories, but stories that were just like, man, I did not think that this was going to happen, and this happened.
There's so many stories, but I'm going to tell you one that was very pivotal. I started out on Poshmark, like I told you. Val had come in the store, and we didn't do. I'm going to tell you, it was me, her, and my mom. And I'm like, oh, somebody joined. And she's like, no, that was me. You know what I mean? Like that thing. But at the end of I want to talk a lot about them, but their commission's real high, and I had a lot of issues with them, right? So, I want to say this was a pivotal for me, was I got my 1099 from them in January of last year, and I saw the numbers that they got and the amount of support that I got from them. I emailed them, and I was like, I'm done here. And I moved on to Whatnot. And I'm going to tell you, it was the best decision I ever made. And it was one of the hardest, because I'm going to tell you, I have like right now I have, and it's not like TikTok numbers, but in online platform selling, it's a lot. Like right now I have 50,000 followers there. And that's like having 1 million on TikTok. And I still have a lot of sales on there. But moving over, what happened is, and I didn't know this, is I had a lot of followers on there that were there every day. And those girls followed me over to Whatnot, didn't even have the app, didn't even know what it was. And they are still with me today. And I can't tell you like how appreciative I am of those girls. And, it's so important to take care of them, be appreciative. And like even when you have launch like today, like yesterday we launched our clothing line, sold out today. Like today, between the 2 days, like I'm wearing the outfit, and I was like, I got to have one thing to wear tomorrow. You know what I mean? Somebody
Can't sell everything,
right? But they wanted that. But I had somebody girl put a $1,500 order online because she couldn't get like ahead of time. But those are the people that carry you through and support you, and you just can't. It's amazing that the support that people have out there, and but you got to show up for them, and you got to be consistent. I get emails from people saying, I'm so excited, I'm so happy you're on at 3 a.m. because I don't sleep and I have nightmares. And it's just, those are the people that keep you going. I'm like, shit, well, Lisa, she's probably can't sleep tonight. Let me make sure I get up. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's not about me. It's about those people that just keep you going.
Well, it sounds like a ton of grinding, which I think obviously most people that are outside the entrepreneurial world just kind of maybe have the rose-colored glasses looking inwards. But aside from the grind, what do you find yourself, loving the most about, all the things that you get to do? What would you say is there one thing that you say, this is the thing that I love most about where I'm at?
It always, I know I keep saying this, but it goes back to the people. It's the difference of me and maybe other shows is that I take the time to measure stuff. I don't want you getting some shit that's going to be too big or too small. A lot of people won't do that. They're like, I'm not even opening the package. It's small. And you know what I mean? And they're like, what's in the package? Like, we don't check out their website. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that the stuff, no, I've gotten that. It's happened to me so many times, and I just don't want that to happen to other people. And that's what they appreciate. And I think that's what they come back for. And if there's issues, let's talk about it. Just message us and we'll take it. But that's what I love is making sure that women have a lot, and I didn't know this till I had the store, have a lot of, I don't know. You hear about it all the time. Like, I'm too big. I can't wear a large. I'm this, I'm that. And the thing is, like, I know if it's going to fit you just by measurements or not. If you're a repeat customer, I'm like, this isn't going to fit you. Don't get it. And they appreciate that. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I enjoy when somebody comes back and say, girl, I look so good at my anniversary. Thank you so much. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so excited about that. And, when somebody comes in and says, I need something for vacation, and we take an hour to find them a dress, we might make $50 off of it. But other sites or shows have made $2,000 by the time we sold the one thing. And that's what's important to me, at the end of the day, because those people are going to come back. Yeah. So
what does the process look like? Because for somebody like me who been an entrepreneur for the last 8 years, and I enjoy that aspect of my life. I'm passionate about it. But the online selling, especially the live selling stuff, is stuff that I'm just so curious about. What does the process look like? So people just pop online and they're like, hey, I'd like one of those. And then do you have to immediately slap a shipping label on it right there? Like, how does that work? What does the process look like?
Yeah, so it's different from every show. So shipping, we spent so much time on shipping amount, dollars and everything. But anyways, so it's basically, I'm going to show you this outfit I have on. It's $168. I have a small, medium, and large. 168, small, medium, and large, running. Okay, I'll take the small. You bid on it? Okay, well, he wants the small too. He's going to bid 172. So he gets it, right? Okay, that's number one. Number one is showing, right? And then it just goes up to however many and I'm on for 6 or 8 hours. Well, at the end of the show, we ship all this stuff and all that. It's me and somebody else. It's me and Val. I mean, we're a 2-man show. And then I have Joanne. She used to work for me at the store. She comes in every now and then in the mornings to help out when I'm real busy. But Val was like, you're basically running $1 million business out of your living room. And we did, because we just all we had. And I put 2 big buildings, I just put another building in December in the back of my house. And I told Matt, I was like, I can't believe we bought this house. It was pretty much, we had to completely renovate the whole thing. But in the back of our yard to do this, can you believe it? Like I every day I walk out there and I'm like, there's buildings out here, So, but it's grown enough to obviously do that. And we're able to handle it, but we need help. Big time. So I need streamers. I need more accountants. I just went to a thing, this Aspire thing. I'm like, oh my God, I have so much work to do. I thought I was good, but I'm not. So.
Well, in a world like that, is there? I imagine there's competition in the sense that other people are doing the similar thing to what you're doing. Yeah. What are some of the ways that you're able to stand out from other people doing a very similar thing? Like, are there unique elements to the way that you guys do things?
Yeah, and I think I talked about a little bit with the measuring is a big one. I mean, you'll see shows they don't measure. They'll have streamers up say, "Don't talk to the host. No requests." In our streams on the bottom, it says we take requests. Same thing. If there's a lot of always payment issues and stuff, I'm like, people are like, oh, I'm so sorry about my pay. I'm like, we don't even notice. We'll keep it for you till tomorrow. A lot of people, you have a payment issue, they're going to block you. Like you can't even buy from their show again. And I have one girl, she's probably my biggest customer. Somebody else blocked her. I was like, that was a big mistake. Good for me. You know, bad for you. That was a bad mistake. But I think that's the big thing is the customer service and, you know, caring about people. This isn't a machine. This isn't McDonald's. You know, this is a nice sit down restaurant is the difference between the two of, you may pay a little bit more, but you're going to get a lot more than that.
Right.
So.
You briefly in a moment had a scream for help. So what are those things that like what are your immediate needs right now, like as for what you guys are doing? Because I know you're doing extremely great right now, but what are those things, like those next things that you're needing?
So we just launched the clothing line. We just met with a manufacturer today for doing Ida Louise home. I need somebody to run it. Yeah. Like I don't have anybody. It's me. Like I'm posting on the wholesale website. Can't post on Instagram. We got to post shows. We got to have somebody for customer service. Just not even for Poshmark and for whatnot, but we got to have it for the clothing line. And we're trying to do Ida Louise home. Like I need really like 2 full-time people, but finding them is real hard. But in order to source that, I need full-time streamers. If you're not streaming 24 hours, if you're not streaming, you're not making money. So I can't do it all. And in order to do that, to support this, I got to have this. So
when you talk about streamers, maybe explain a little bit more about what that means. Does that mean that you could potentially effectively have a salesperson, like somebody that's going to be streaming, and you say, hey, I'm going to give you my product, and you can advertise for it, do the live selling, you'll make a commission off that, and then we're obviously getting a piece of whatever you're selling. Is that how it works?
That would be cool. That would be real cool. Got a great idea there. No, but because of the way the product is all stationed at my house, like we get pallets of stuff in. Like I got 800 pairs of shoes coming in, brand new shoes, never touched, coming in. I got 100 pairs of Paige jeans, $250 a piece coming in. Like I need people at my house. Like I just need somebody 10 to 2, 12 to 4, 3 days a week. And it's flexible. It's just you schedule a show doesn't mean you have to do it, right? We're trying to do tool time with Matt. And we've had to reschedule that like 4 times. But either way, it's flexible. But I got to have people to do it that has a personality, that can think on their feet, you know, be able to engage with the customer. You got to be doing 12 things at one time. Yeah. So that's the big thing.
Well, to kind of wrap up, what kind of advice would you give to somebody that is on the beginning stages of something like this? Like if you could teleport back and maybe talk to past you, or a viewer now who's thinking, man, that sounds so interesting, she's doing those things, I would love to start doing something like that. What's some advice that you would give that person or young you?
I'll be honest, like I think the biggest thing I was naive about is probably sourcing. It's the hardest thing you're going to find and do for being able to have product that is low cost, but you got to have a high quality product and be able to sell it, right? I think I did a lot of things like the grind, showing up, maybe not having another job at the same time, but all those things I was consistent enough. But I think sourcing, and everyone asks, like when they come on, they're like, holy shit, you have that many people like that don't know me, and they come on like, wow. Or I'm on other shows and I'm buying stuff and they're like, whoa, Ida Louise is on, you know, whatever, that they don't realize. They always ask, where's your source? Where are you getting your product from? And I'll tell you, that's your number one secret. Don't let people know that because they're going to be taken from you. I'm going to say taken from you, but they're going to be taking product from you that you could be sourcing from. Yeah. And you just don't want to let something like that go. So
last question. How did the name come about? What is?
So my, it's my grandma's name. Aww. And I tell people that, Ida Louise, so I didn't know this till about 5 years ago. My cousin had posted Ida Louise on her Facebook page. And I was like, who the hell is Ida Louise? Because my middle name is Louise. Like, I knew my grandma's name was Louise. Everybody called her that, right? But her first name was Ida. And so many stories behind all of this. But I also, that family is not a family that, my last name, I will say, is Trinkle. But nobody knows that name. But it's not a good name. It's jail, it's drinking, it's DUI, it's all those things. We all have that family, right? But I said, you know what? Something good's going to come out of this family, and I'm going to use it. So I was like, I'm going to take my grandma's name, and we're going to use it, and that's what I've done this whole time. So, yeah.
Awesome. I love that. I love that backstory. I feel like you need to put that more forward facing.
Oh,
I feel like there's a lot there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mary, thank you so much for being on the podcast. We love having you on. That was Mary Forsythe with Ida Louise. And as always, I'm Greg Prinz, and this is the Chapter 1 Podcast.